Days after participating in the Arab Islamic Summit in Doha, Saudi Arabia and nuclear-armed Pakistan have signed a formal, almost NATO-like mutual defence pact. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif signed a defence agreement under which an attack on one nation will be treated as an attack on the other. Pakistani state television showed Shehbaz Sharif and Mohammed bin Salman, the kingdom's de facto ruler, embracing after signing the agreement. In attendance was Pakistan's Army Chief Asim Munir. The fallout from Israel's war on Gaza and its strikes on regional neighbors has made West Asian countries like Saudi Arabia uneasy, many of which still rely heavily on the United States of America for security guarantees, even as Washington remains Israel's closest ally. According to the Saudi press agency, the pact was signed during Shehbaz Sharif's visit to Riyadh. A statement from the Pakistani Prime Minister's office said, I read it verbatim. This agreement, which reflects the shared commitment of both nations to enhance their security and to achieving security and peace in the region and the world, aims to develop aspects of defense cooperation between the two countries and strengthen joint deterrence against any aggression. The agreement states that any aggression against either country shall be considered an aggression against both. The Ministry of External Affairs reacted with caution to the development. Spokesperson Randeep Jaiswal said the government was aware that the pact had been under consideration for some time and noted that it formalizes a long-standing arrangement between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. The statement added that India would study the implication of agreement for national security, regional stability and global peace, while underscoring that the government remains committed to safeguarding its interests across all domains. India is watching the developments in Riyadh closely. India's engagement with Saudi Arabia has deepened steadily over the past decade. India is now the second largest trading partner for Saudi Arabia and a vital energy supplier, while a large Indian diaspora lives and works in the kingdom. Prime Minister Modi has visited Saudi Arabia 3 times and was awarded nation's highest civilian honor in 2016. In April this year, during Prime Minister Modi's state visit, both sides jointly condemned the Pahalgam terror attack and reaffirmed that there can be no justification for terrorism or for supporting cross-border infrastructure for militancy. Against this backdrop, Saudi Arabia's decision to formalize its military relationship with Pakistan is being closely tracked. It does not mean that Riyadh is turning away from India, but it underlines the kingdom's balancing act between Delhi and Islamabad. But the fact of the matter is, today Pakistan finds itself in a very cozy space after creating a big cushion with China, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Turkey. Agreement looks like NATO, but it's not NATO. It is a bilateral pact whose practical scope remains unclear. Agreement is not clear on the issue of nuclear umbrella. Experts believe that Israel's aggression has pushed Saudi Arabia to finalize the deal. Doha attack sent shockwaves in entire West Asia, and experts argue that it looks more like a signal to Israel. And on top of it, if I may bring this to notice of my viewers, this agreement has come at a time when Jaish-e-Mohammed commander Masood Ilyas Kashmiri has exposed Pakistan's direct patronage of terrorism. In a video, Kashmiri revealed that Pakistan Army Chief General Asim Munir instructed senior officers to attend the funeral of terrorists killed during India's Operation Sindoor. In another video from the same event, he openly acknowledged the involvement of Masood Azhar in terror strikes on Indian soil, including Delhi and Mumbai. This disclosure follows another recently surfaced clip where Kashmiri admitted that India's Operation Sindoor strike had hit Masood Azhar's family in Bahawalpur. So the question is, how will Kingdom of Saudi Arabia react when India takes out terrorists from Pakistan? Will Saudi Arabia come to Pakistan's help? Pakistan and Saudi Arabia share a long history of military cooperation. It is a fact. Since 1967, Islamabad has trained over 8,200 Saudi military personnel, and the two nations have conducted multiple joint exercises. Saudis on multiple occasions have also bailed out Pakistan financially. Describing the deal as the culmination of years of discussion, a senior Saudi official told Reuters that it was not a reaction to any recent conflict or country. This is a comprehensive defensive agreement that encompasses all military means. So the big question I ask today, what are the consequences for India? Operation Sindoor is on pause. If India takes out terror houses in Pakistan, how will Kingdom of Saudi Arabia react? And finally, is it a result of Israel's attack on Doha? And why is there no clarity on nuclear umbrella? On this issue, I am joined by Ambassador Veena Sikri, former Indian diplomat, Dr. Tara Kartha, former Director, National Security Council Secretariat, and Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, Defense and Geopolitical Expert. Thank you all of you for joining me. Let me straight away go to Ambassador Sikri. Madam, your opening comments on this defense pact.
Well, I would like to just raise 2 or 3 points. I think that it has come as a surprise to everybody, although our government of India statement did say that they have been following this, tracking this for some time. So obviously they had some more information. I think firstly, we have to look at it from Pakistan's point of view. Pakistan has been creating a narrative ever since Operation Sindoor that they are the victors, that they are the ones, and they're quite completely ignoring evidence, to the contrary, from India, from satellite views about the destruction of their command and control center, their runways, etc., and their aircraft in large numbers. But they're saying to everybody that we are the victor. This is the narrative within Pakistan. To bolster that, they showed how America now needs them so much. The Asim Munir lunch with President Trump and so on. This is the second in that same narrative, that how Saudi Arabia now needs them so much, and they have concluded a mutual defense agreement with Saudi Arabia. I think so. This is something that Pakistan must have demanded from Saudi Arabia at this time. And of course, this is in keeping with that Saudi Arabia having given so many millions to billions to Pakistan at different intervals. The second aspect, of course, is what we have also discussed about the Islamic NATO concept, where in response to Israel's attack on Qatar, the Islamic nations are very concerned, and this is a kind of a show of strength, a show that this is the kernel, the seed of the Islamic countries' response, where Pakistan and Saudi Arabia want to take the pole position in that response, and maybe other countries will join in and they will try. But I don't see how an Islamic NATO can work, because all the Islamic countries, they have lots of money, but they buy their weapons either from America and now from China as well. So, if you're going to have an Islamic NATO, who's it against? Is it against the other NATO? And which are the weapons you're going to use to fight them, because you don't have your own weapons? I think the question of the nuclear umbrella is a moot one, because some people had even speculated at some time in the past that will Pakistan's nuclear weapons be kept in Saudi Arabia to save them from some kind of attack or anything from India. I think for India, certainly this is a very matter that has to be looked into with great detail. We have very good relations with Saudi Arabia. Prime Minister has received this award.
Ma'am, let us break this down. Let us break this down. Let us break this down into 3 parts. The military implication. The second part is that we have cultivated a deep relationship with Saudi Arabia. I'll just quote Michael Kugelman. He says the Pakistan has not only inked a new mutual defense pact, it is inked with a close ally, and that is also a top partner of India's. The pact would not deter India from attacking Pakistan, but with 3 key powers, China, Turkey, and now Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, fully on Pakistan's side, Pakistan is in a very good place. He underlines the distinction. India's military calculus remains unaffected, but the optics give Pakistan a sense of expanded backing at a time when its domestic and economic situation remains strained and dire. But my question, Dr. Kartha, is that, one, have we been taken by surprise? One, and what happens when we strike POK or when we strike Punjab, when we take out these terror havens? What should we expect from Saudi Arabia? Or do you think it's more in response to what Israel has been doing in West Asia, bombing Tehran to Doha to other parts?
See, firstly, is it a surprise? Yes. In terms of making it into a proper legal, semi-legal or whatever you want to call it, a document, yes, it's a surprise. Is it a surprise? Did it happen earlier? No, it's been happening for years. This is an understanding which was reached there was a defector, Saudi defector way back in 1994, if I'm not mistaken, who brought out a bunch of documents. And one of those documents said that Pakistan has committed itself to protecting Saudi Arabia with its nuclear weapons. Thereafter, on and off, we've heard these rumors. You had the fact that Saudi Arabia pumped money into the Pakistan nuclear program. The Saudi prince, I think Aziz, if I remember his name, is the only foreigner till date who has visited a Pakistan facility. I mean, they didn't even allow the prime minister to visit. Benazir Bhutto asked to go to Kahuta. They said no. And then this Saudi prince comes and visits. So that kind of a knitting together of these two has been there way back. Does it operate now? I don't know, because Saudi Arabia has moved away. It is completely in the opposite direction to which Pakistan is going. Right? Pakistan is going into this radicalized, it's going into this bit. Saudi Arabia is going in the opposite direction. So to that extent, the old historical ties don't really wane much. To your second question, what will Saudi Arabia do if we attack? My answer is probably nothing. They don't have the capability to come and attack you. And it would be a very, very strange situation to have Saudi aircraft, for example, landing in Pakistan. It could happen, but it would be really strange. Because our relationship with Saudis are rock solid, which is why I think we should back off from criticizing Saudi Arabia on this. Pakistan would love it if you did. So we haven't. I mean, they want to spoil relations between you and Saudi Arabia. So you don't want that. So, and in the end, who is Saudi Arabia's? I mean, this is the final clincher. Who is likely to attack Saudi Arabia? That will be Israel, I'm assuming. Can you see Pakistan actually using its nuclear weapons in a threat against Israel? I mean, that is really asking for trouble. So this whole thing seems very, it's a little strange.
So, ma'am, you are an insider. All of you are insiders. So I'm the outsider. So let me turn this question on its head. A treaty, an understanding which doesn't make any sense, then why do you sign it?
I think for the Saudis, it's a public gesture against what Israel has done. I mean, what Israel has done is really they've kicked the ball out of the park in hitting Qatar. And this is Saudis saying, look, we've had enough. You're also seeing that, as the previous speaker would say, GCC countries have never been united on anything.